Now, this is a brand new project, and the way that the windows are laid out is called a workspace. There are a variety of different workspaces. When you go up to Window and go down to Workspace, we can look at a workspace which is configured for color correction, or a workspace which is configured for effects work. That would be if I select the right menu option here, Workspace Effects. And I'm going to go back to the default editing workspace. Each one of these blocks, of which there are 4 principal blocks, is called a panel. And there are tabs at the top of the panel. Now, this is nothing new for anybody that's been working with Premiere, but what you may not know is that I can take a tab, for instance, grab Effects, and drag it up. And when I do, notice that blue box. When I put it in the blue box, it's going to put Effects up at the same level as, in this case, Program. If I grab it and, say, drag it into this bottom wedge, it puts Effects between the program monitor and the panel below it. If I put it to the left, it moves it to the left. If I grab it and light the right one, it goes to the right. In other words, I'm able to control where these different tabs go by looking at what I'm highlighting as I drag it around. In the event you come up with a workspace that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever, go back to the Window menu, go down to Workspace and say Reset Current Workspace, and it asks if you're sure, and you say yes, and it goes back and resets everything to the last time this workspace was saved. Well, a very handy tool is to grab the audio meters and drag them and put them above the timeline. Notice the audio meters are now here. We'll grab this horizontal line and drag it so they're a little bit narrower. But now I've got a much easier to read audio meter that goes across the top of the timeline. Notice that I've got mine set to go from 0 to -24 dB. You can get there by right mouse clicking inside the meters. I don't really care about how quiet my audio is. I'm mixing for the loud portions, not the soft portions. It has a default range of 60 dB. But everything that I'm mixing is going to be somewhere between -12 and -3. It's this area here that I'm most interested in. So by right mouse clicking and setting this to a 24 dB range, I'm able to focus on just the loudest portions of the audio. Additionally, when I right mouse click, notice this option is Show Valleys. Peaks show the loudest portion of your audio on a second-by-second basis. Valleys show the softest portion of our audio on a second-by-second basis. I like being able to see the range between the softest and the loudest passages of the audio. So I set Show Valleys on, I set it to a 24 dB range, and dynamic peaks means that the audio meters are changing peak level settings every second or so. Static peaks means they're showing me the loudest portion ever. So I like dynamic, 24, and valleys. Well, let's just say that I think this has got to be the most incredible workspace that has ever been invented. I want to be able to save this and reuse it. Go back to Window, go down to Workspace, and say New Workspace. I'm going to call this Larry's Workspace. And now, when I go up to Window, Workspace, there's my workspace. I can go back to Editing, which resets. Let's go back and reset. Reset the workspace. So now, just to see, there's the audio meters over here. Go to Workspace Larry, and the audio meters are there, and we go back to Workspace Editing. I can change workspaces whenever I want so that I can have the most efficient layout. And if you've got a 2-monitor setup, you can easily put panels on one monitor or the other to give yourself the screen real estate that you need to be able to see your timeline as well as all the supporting windows that you need for video editing. Workspaces allow us to configure our editing environment so it works efficiently for us. This has been an excerpt of a recent Power Up webinar taking a look at secret power tips for Adobe Premiere Pro CC. For the complete version of this online training, please visit our store at larryjordan.com/store and look for Webinar 159. By the way, membership is a great value. If you need to stretch your training dollars, a membership to our video training library saves you money and time. You can access all of our videos for a low monthly price of only $19.99. That's more than 1,200 movies, hundreds of hours, all in-depth and all up to date. Plus, members can attend any Power Up webinar for free. Our training covers Apple and Adobe software. We update it every week, and for more information, visit larryjordan.com/membership. And thanks.